So I want to bring it to the studio because some of the faces you've seen across the newspapers, some of the people we are celebrating as top achievers across the country are joining me in our studio today. Molebogeng Madalane is from Reddam House in Waterfall. Arya Badal from Redford House in Blue Hills. Joshua Pule is with us as well, Coronationville Secondary School. Kgothatso Chabedie from Barnabas School of Specialisation. I'm really so happy to have all of you, and just from my side and from the network side, just congratulations in doing so well.
Thank you so much.
And to receive all of this recognition. We know it's not without hard work and sacrifice, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Arya, you got 9 distinctions. One of the things you were telling me, go for it, be natural. This is your space, you can absolutely own it. My producer was telling me that one of the things you struggled with, though, because we see this result and we don't realize all the hard work that goes into it, is you were struggling with stress and burnout. Burnout is a real thing, it's a physical thing. So share with us what you went through to get to this point.
I feel like you start your matric year and already they're just like overloading you with assignments. It's just one after the other because they want to build up your SPA, make it as good as possible for the finals. And it can get quite overwhelming, especially if you're doing 9 subjects. So by the time you come to like June exams and then prelims and then finals right after, you're just like completely... You can't breathe.
Yeah, see, I mean, you guys obviously relate to that. Buntle, you had 8 distinctions. You know what that struggle...
Thank you.
what that struggle is about as well. You were telling my producers about the highs, you know, taking part in school events, your matric dance, your matric camp, the boarding house, but what you were bemoaning was just the level and the weight of the workload.
Yeah.
So in the daily, in the daily experience of your matric year, what was that like?
Like, truly, it wouldn't have been possible without God and my family, like my parents and my siblings. And truly, my teachers' passion for their subjects really is contagious. So that's why I really love like maths and science and life science, and yeah.
So how did you break up the schedule? I mean, what was the discipline? What was that daily like? And did your mom say, in bed at a certain time, switch off or did you engage in your social media? How did you manage your time?
My parents did encourage me to like study and everything, but honestly, I do have like self-discipline. Like, I wasn't forced to study. But I'm the wrong person to ask about study tips. I didn't have a timetable. I had no tutors whatsoever. Like, I just like, literally, it all started like from grade 1. The foundation really through my parents and everything.
Yeah. If there's time later, we'll talk about some of the family dynamics as well that, create a challenge but also offer that opportunity for support. Joshua, you became president of the Representative Council of Learners. That's quite a massive achievement. You also achieved 4 distinctions as well. And what I also love about what you've managed to accomplish is that you're an extraordinary debater, I'm told, and that really resonates with me because I love debate, I love argument.
Yeah. I'd say it all started in grade 8. Coming into the space of high school and then meeting all these different people. Very strategic, but comes in handy. And then being elected as president it's a job. I think it needs a salary. Yeah. So,
okay, hint to the authorities. Yeah.
So dealing with learners, especially vast of learners from different backgrounds. I mean, it's a cliche to always say that, but it is difficult. And being in the fact that I was also not in. I was also in matric. It came as a second-hand job because I wasn't only doing it for love, but I also did it to help. Yeah. Yeah.
And when you say help, what do you mean?
Okay, I won't mention their names, but many of learners came to me crying for help in terms of study tips. I'm also not one to ask. So they also came for like financial problems. So we also had to lead them back to the office of the school. So they couldn't do it without my help. So yeah, that's the help.
Yeah, and really interesting. Again, another challenge when we think about, we just assume that all you have to worry about is getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth, getting to school, paying attention in class and your lessons. we bring with us our communities, we bring with us what's happening in the streets and in the environment around us into the classroom, essentially. Kgothatso,
Yes.
4 distinctions. Again, really, really well done. And I want you to share with us.
He got 4, I got 2.
Consistency.
Oh, you got 2.
Yes.
Did I mix you guys up?
Maybe.
You're Kgothatso, right?
I'm Kgothatso,
Okay,
yes.
so we got it wrong on the piece
No,
of
but
paper,
it's
but
okay.
you got 4 and you got 2.
Yes.
Again, it's still an incredible achievement. And also involved in RCL as well.
Yes.
The responsibilities that go along with that while you're trying to manage doing really, really well at school.
You know, it was a matter of in grade 11, I was always an RCL. Then in grade 11, I didn't. So, you know, it messes up your headspace because the only thing you knew was leadership. And then when I went into grade 12 and became president, not only for my school, but my district and then Gauteng, I see at a school level, but at a national level, dealing with RCLs all over the province, it's a lot. And then having to go back into your books because ultimately you can be president and have the titles, but books are your main focus, and it's hard balancing between the two because your attention is so split between all the responsibilities you have. So it's a challenge sometimes, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, especially in the context of both your schools, Joshua and Kgothatso, schools where there's a lot happening in the environment. You know, Coronationville is a community where, you know, you're dealing with a number of issues there as well. We've seen those on television, where you have to be super focused when you're dealing with challenges, even when you step right outside the door. And I'd like, because both of you, your school also is quite close to Coronationville, talk to us about your community and being able to be, what it takes to be hyper-focused in an environment where there are a number of social issues in the places that you live.
For me, this I can thank my granny for, because she never wanted me to be in the school around my community. So when I got into St. Barnabas has also a boarding school, meaning that I don't have to leave, I don't have to face any external factors that could affect my grades or any other situation.
Josh?
With me, I also come from a township. So growing up, I've seen the problems that are currently happening in Coronationville, more specifically Westbury with the gangsterism and all. But it always has been the factor of I have to be something the community haven't seen, something good. So going back to Coronation, it was ghetto, but
When you say ghetto, what do you mean?
everything is just so local, but in a bad way. Meaning that I can just walk around the corner and find somebody pointing a gun at me. I can walk around the corner and just find somebody pulling a knife on me.
Yeah.
So that also taught me to have like self-respect regardless of my environment.
Yeah.
Just because the environment that I'm in is bad, it doesn't mean I have to be bad. It actually means that I have to be the light to the dark.
So guys, we're here on this, what are we on, Tuesday? I know you knew it. Yeah, Tuesday morning, where you're caught up in this euphoria about all of the celebration. But barely, once that breath has been taken, the next thing is, what is the next thing? And so I'd love to hear from both of you, Bontle and Arya, what you might be thinking and what your plans are for your next steps.
Yeah, everyone wants to know the answer to this question. Definitely, I want to study medicine, but I'm quite torn between 2 universities.
Dr. Madalane has a
Has a
lovely
ring to it, yes. Yeah, I either want to study at UP or UCT. UCT has like good academics, and my dad went there. He studied engineering there, so
Yes,
I
Daddy
could follow.
Lolato.
Yes, exactly. Shout out. And then UP sports is like amazing. Like I love sports. Like I can go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Like I played for South Africa. I represented SA in the UK for touch rugby. I play netball, hockey, like all of them.
Well-rounded girl.
So it depends which uni comes to me first.
Oh, I love that. We don't even know. We're saying, come and vet me, Arya.
I was planning on doing my ideal plan is doing like medical research and pharmacy in the future. So I'm planning on going to UCT to study biochemistry and data science and statistics. Yeah, I really want to like give back to the community in that kind of way, through medical side, but.
Yeah, and you know, we're at the cutting edge in South Africa as well in many different fields of medicine. You think of Salim Abdul Karim in KZN. So, you know, really wish you well and looking out to see how you both fare. Joshua and Kgothatso, what are you thinking about the next?
Okay, so initially I was caught up between a hard place and a rock. I wanted to study medicine, and then during the course of the year, I realized that it was what my parents wanted, not what I wanted. So I did some self-introspection and discovered that I'm actually interested in law. So my plan is to study LLB at either University of Johannesburg or UFS.
Yeah. Nice. Very good institutions, and good luck with that. There'll be a lot of work in South Africa. You know, we are a highly litigious space. So, Josh, you're going to do well. It's going to be ching-ching. And Kgothatso?
For myself, I think I speak for many other learners. I don't really have I'm set. This is what I'm doing. I'm kind of open. My top choices, if I can call them my top choices, are chartered accountancy at NWU, or architecture, or law, or other things that I applied for.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say I'm adaptable in the sense that I just want to get in and figure myself out, because not all of us just have a set plan, and I think it's important to note that also.
And I think I want to pick up on that a little bit, young people, and I feel like an old person now saying young people, but I do have children who've been through school, is you may not have all the answers in the immediate, like you're saying, Kgothatso, you're taking the organic approach in trying to feel what really resonates for you. Others might have had that set a long time ago, but it's to be kind and gentle with yourself, and to remember as well that you're still a human being, and to take time as well to really live and to enjoy life. And I hope that, you know, that old saying, when you do something you love, you never work a day in your life, so that you all land in that space where you're not working, you're really enjoying your lives. You've earned a really you have a well-earned break ahead of you. Anything, what are you doing? Like, how are you resting? How are you relaxing?
For me, I'm with friends, family. My granny is sick, so I see my granny.
Oh, please give her our love and our regards.
When I went today at home, it was a rush. I had to change into my uniform. And then everyone on the street came out shouting, and then she was sitting outside. So I hope that made her happy also.
Yeah, and you guys, Josh?
With me, besides being a former matriculant.
Oh yeah, that's in the past now.
Yeah. Besides being a former matriculant, I am also an aspiring actor. So I'm looking into growing in that space.
Oh, lovely.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Well, I think first you need to catch up on a lot of sleep. So much
that makes sense.
Yes. But I'm just hoping I get to spend time with my friends and family before I have to go down to Cape Town, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to be away from them again, so...
Yeah.
That can be tough.
For weeks on end.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of traveling this December to the States and Dubai. However, now I'll be like, you know, recollecting, refreshing before, you know, the journey ahead.
Yeah, and it is such a beautiful, beautiful moment. You guys have been through this incredible milestone, and you have managed to make really good on your promise to yourself, I guess, in the last year, to do well. Obviously, your promises to your families as well. There's just something else I want to add in about, and I guess part of your work with the RCL as well would have prepared you for this, is being involved in decision making. And I'd really like just some quick thoughts on, you know, speaking to policymakers in our country, speaking to government about ensuring the voice of the demographic that things are for is represented when they're making those decisions. Anyone can jump straight in about making that plea to those in charge. Arya?
I just think we shouldn't underestimate the youth of South Africa. I feel like a lot of time we look down on the youth. You can see it with 30% pass mark, for example. I feel like we should have higher expectations, because we can be better, we are better than most people give us credit for, and we should be allowed to express that through our decision making. And I feel like they really need to listen to us about what we want to do.
Yeah.
Can I add to that?
Absolutely.
For me, I think you can't have a conversation about teenagers without teenagers. I think it's an important aspect to have, that whatever decision is made concerning learners, the voices of the learners should be part of that decision, because ultimately you can make a decision, but it's only going to affect the learner. And if learners are involved in that process, then you are held accountable because you were part of the conversation, you're part of the decision. Now the outcome lays in your hands.
People might think, well, you're too young.
But that is true. But how long are we going to be young? You know?
Yeah.
Because yes, we are 18, but you are 18, so we are all going through these life steps together, and how you experienced your teenage years is not the same as us. So saying that we're too young, maybe you weren't afforded the opportunity to raise your voice, but for children...
And now we are.
Now we are.
Now you are.
And we have to take up space.
So I'm going to do something naughty, which I know my team is going to be, Iman, what are you doing? But I know that your mum is here, Rami's here, Aleshi is also here. This is your mum, Arya. And I know that your folks are watching at home. I want to give them the opportunity just to, if they want to come on, but let's stand up. I think and just a little, innocent water cheers to your futures.
Thank you so
All the best going forward, guys. And really, really so proud of your accomplishments.
Thank you so much.
You set the bar high. Come, we want parents to rush in. This is part of your moment as well. Come, jump on, jump on. We literally have 2 seconds. Who else is here from the family? All right. I think we can do a class of 2024. 1, 2, 3. Class of 2024. What an awesome moment. This is how we end Newsfeed AM with me, Iman Rappetti. Here is my camera, and Daytime Updates is loading, and they take over the reins next. I hope you have a fantastic day. To the class of 2025, this is what is possible. So go for it. See you all tomorrow, guys. Have a fabulous day.